Welcome everybody to the 47th tutorial in the Java game top down in the zombie game tutorial series. And in this tutorial we're simply going to be making the player we're gonna make zombies to be able to kill the player. The zombie to be able to kill the player, and also want to be like create a game over screen, or once the player dies we want to move back to the main menu pretty much. So currently this is what we have. So this is currently like our main menu. So I'm gonna simply press enter. And this is what we have right now. We can kill the zombie, but we can't kill the player. So yeah, so let's go ahead and do just that. So first thing, what I want to do is to go back to the main class, main package. No, not the main package. I think it's in the scene. And or is it main? Let's go to the main first. Go to the game manager. Okay, scene. Get current scene. Okay. Okay, so we kind of have scene manager to initialize, start scene. Okay. So can I have these scenes, and let me just look at the API for this. And get current scene. Okay. Start scene, string scene name. Okay. Okay, so anyways, before this first, okay, now I kind of like have a clue of what's happening. So we can go back to the gameplay scene, and what we can do is to pretty much, in fact, not in the gameplay scene, inside in the end method. Okay, in here we have an end method. So what we can do is we can go back to the zombie class. I just had a look at the, what is it called, at the whatever. So we can go back to the entity. I think it's an entities. Okay, that's an entity. Entity zombies. Okay, basic zombie. Actually, in the zombie class. So inside here, I want to create an abstract void. Two functions actually. Public void attack. I'll just simply name it on reach player, and I'll simply call an attack method. And here I'll create an abstract method. I'll make this public abstract void attack player, and we might want to take in the player. Actually, maybe the entity, I don't know really. Entity, and we'll do this. And what we want to do on reach player, we want to take in the entity here. I'll just explain all of this soon. I'll just simply explain all of this. Okay, and then we want to pass in, simply name this attack player, and then entity. Okay, just rename this. On reach player, just make this small. Okay, now that we're good, I can simply go to the AI. Now that we have this method, I can simply, okay, I need to go to the basic zombie and implement it first. So here, actually, let me rename this from on reach player, and actually I want to rename this to on On target range. On target range. Okay. And inside here, the green zombie. I'll explain all that. I'll explain the method in a moment. Okay, attack player. Okay, so here this is the attack player. What I just simply want to say is to assert. Just want to we hit. Actually, I just want to display a simple message. We hit plus entity dot name get name. Okay, get name. There we go. And so now let me explain what's gonna happen. So inside the AI class, I want to create a method, a way to check that if we're inside the range, if the zombie is within the range of the target. So what we want to do is when that happens, we want to attack the player. So yeah. So what we want to do is simply attack the player once the entity is inside the range. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. So we're going to call the attack player, and then inside here we can simply say entity.health minus equals to whatever. But for now we just want to display this for testing. And so what now I can go do is go inside the AI and steering. Actually, let me look at how the zombie works. So I create a behavior, and I guess I use the behavior. I'm gonna call it behavior.update. Okay, cool. So behavior, so I just need to go back to the behavior class. I think we're gonna have to go to the behavior. Okay, set target, okay, handler, okay. As the target has arrived. Wow, what's this? Okay, so apparently we have target has arrived, target has not arrived. Okay. Extends entity. Okay, so I think then it's inside target has arrived, it's inside here. Okay, so this is where we do the attacking. Actually, so we actually have that method. Okay, so let me just remove this. There's a bunch of nonsense. Sorry guys, I wasted your time. So I'll just go ahead and I think I'll remove this. Or maybe I'll just keep it there for future reference. I don't know. And yeah, so inside the green zombie, when target has arrived, okay, okay, then I want to simply call attack player. Attack player, so this means instead of calling this, I think a zombie should also have a target or something like that. Okay, wow, okay. I don't know what's happening for reals. Let me just check out this thing. Okay. Entity S and game object target. So let me just pass in the target. I'm just mutating this method a bit. Calling this target, and let me go back to the entity class and change a few things a bit. So I'll go to the entity and I'll rename this to game object and simply call this target. And when we go back to the behavior, to the green zombie, I'll just simply say game object target, and inside here, so I just simply want to check if the target is what is it called, if the target is a player. So I want to say if or is an entity. So if target instance of entity, then we can simply call attack player this. Instead of calling this, we simply want to cast the target into an entity. So we're going to change this. We're going to write this. And now when we try to run this, okay, let's just cancel. Let me try and run this again. Okay, so it seems to be an issue. Okay. Okay, so I just need to like maintain this. So okay, so target has arrived, game object I'll just simply name it, I don't know, GeoBJ. And let's run this. Okay, so it's saying we hit the player. So that's good. So it means that whatever is working, our attacking system is working. So now what we need to do is to simply set a hit speed, or a, what is it called, an attack speed for the zombie. So first thing, I'll have to go to the animation and look at the walk animation. Walk animation, no, the attack animation actually. So okay, so here we go. So we set the attack speed to every 0.3 seconds we want to attack. So yeah, so that is our attack speed. So I actually need to create a variable here, float attack time. I'll simply name it as attack time. Float I actually should put this inside the zombie class. So yeah, so here I can simply say float and make it protected. Actually, let me just make it public. It won't hurt. Attack speed or attack time. Time to attack. I'll just simply name it time to next attack or something. Next attack, and I'll make this equals to, let's say, 0. Yeah. Let me make it a default of, I don't know, 1.2f. That means 1.2 seconds. And let me go back to the green zombie. And instead of passing the what is it called here, I'll simply say attack time to attack. We're gonna pass in the time to attack, and since now that we have passed that's the speed until for a zombie to complete his first attacking animation. So let's check it right now. As you can see, okay, it's working properly. So it's kind of taking 1.2 seconds to attack. So now what I need to do is to go back to the green zombie, and here I just need to, you know, to start attacking the player. So what I need to do is to create an action listener. The same thing we kind of did for the shooting, but yeah, I need to create a timer that kind of starts running when we're attacking. The moment we start to attack the player, and so that it kind of like synchronizes with the what is it called, with the animation. So what I want to do is to create here a timer, and I'll import it from javax.swing, and I'll simply name it attack timer, and I'll just leave it like that. And also after extends zombie, I'll simply implement, I want to implement an action listener. So remember how we did it last time? This is another way we can do it. Action listener. The last time we used an arrow function, and it's not called arrow function in Java, it's called a lambda notation. Let me show you. If we go back to the gun weapons, and go back to the gun, shoot timer, there's a time we used, I think, lambda, an arrow. Yeah, we did it this way. Action listener, we created an action listener and make it equals to an arrow function. But since action listener is it's an interface, so we can actually implement it directly. So I'm showing you another way to use interfaces. So I can simply say extends zombie and implements action listener, and it has a function named action performed, which is the same as, oh my goodness, I closed it. Okay, which is similar to having this. The action performed is the same thing as having this. So yeah, you can choose however you want to code this, but you can do it this way. So when we perform this action, what I want to do is to actually then we let's say we display that we hit the target. So I can simply say out. I can simply display we hit, and I kind of need to go back to the zombie class and create entity target. So here I'll just simply create public entity, the current target. So public entity, locked target. I'll simply say, I'll name this locked target. So this is going to represent the target that we currently are locked on. So when I go here to the green zombie, I want to when you call attack player, first of all, what I want to say is to simply say, actually not an attack player. Yeah, actually inside attack player. What am I saying? Yeah, inside attack player, I want to say target locked target is equals to entity. And what I want to say is, if I want to check if entity is not null. So if entity locked target locked target does not equals to null. Now actually if it's equals to null, then we return. So pretty much what we're saying here is that if it's null, we just want to exit out of the method, and yeah. And if it's not null, I just want to say locked plus locked target dot get name. And yeah, so I think that's it for the action part. So this is where we're going to be writing our hitting code, and I think this is it for the action listener. And yeah, so what else we need to do is to now create the timer. So inside our init method, I want to create a new timer. I want to create this attack timer. Attack timer is equal to new timer, and it's going to take in an action listen and the delay. So the action listener is this, and remember, for the int delay, that's like the duration in seconds, in milliseconds actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply it to time to attack by 1000, time to next attack, multiply this by 1000, and we need to cast this to an integer. So yeah, that way we can get the milliseconds. And yeah, and what we want to do here is to actually inside the attack player. So when we attack the player, what I want to do is to start the timer. So I want to say attack timer dot start, and what I want to do is simply say set this to not repeat. So I want to say attack timer dot set repeat to false. Set repeats to false. So I don't want it to be repeating. So yeah, pretty much. So that's how it works. And also one more thing inside here, we want to say if attack timer is running, we return. If attack timer dot is running. So that means if you're currently attacking, we just want to return. We don't want to continue the method. We just want to exit out of the method. And yeah, now if we check this out and see, as you can see, it's kind of working. After every 1.2 seconds, it shows that we hit the player. As you can see, yeah, it kind of works. But for now, like, let me show you, for example, like if the animation starts running and we kind of get away from the player, it's still going to hit us. The zombie is still currently going to hit us. As you can see, if it tries to hit me and I get away, see, it's gonna say we hit the player even though we escaped. So we dodged the zombie. So what I want to do is to add a range check. So I think I need to look for a range variable. There should be a range something. Or let me go back to the behavior. I think I set a range or something. Okay, attack range. Okay, so this is inside the behavior. So I can go back to the green zombie and actually let me make, okay, it's public. So I can go back to this green zombie and I want to manually set the attack behavior. So if we go back to the zombie, okay, we have the behavior here, and I'll just simply go after the init behavior equals to new dummy, that blah blah blah, and I want to simply say behavior dot attack range is equals to 20f. I just want to manually set it over here. And yeah, and also, so what we want to do is to simply Okay, so inside here, actually, inside the zombie class, we also want to create an attack range variable. So I'll create a public float attack range, and I'll make this equals to 20f, 20 floats. And when we go back to here, because instead of setting it to 20f directly, I can simply set it to attack range. And that way I can dynamically change my attack range for every single zombie. So right after doing that, we can go back to the green zombie, and at the bottom, we can simply say if distance. So we need the distance between the. So what we were trying to say is, so what we're trying to check for right now is we want to test if before we actually do the damage, as you can see, like the moment the animation starts and then I move away, it's gonna say we hit the player. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is to kind of like, check if the enemy is in range before we can actually hit them. So I'm gonna need to get the behavior, go to the behavior. I'll pause, okay, and I'll simply create a public function, public method, public, and I'll make it return a float, get distance. What this will simply do is to simply return the distance between us and the range and the target. So I'll simply say return distance. What am I saying? Okay, us dot get position dot distance between target dot get position, and this should be good. So we can get the distance now, and when we enter the green zombie, and now that we can actually, you know what, I think I should actually move this code. Actually, you know what, it doesn't really matter. We can do those changes later. So what I can simply say is if what is it called? If behavior dot get distance between, okay, so it's gonna give us the distance is smaller or equal to attack range. If it's larger, actually, we're just gonna say if it's larger than attack range, I just want to simply return. So this kind of means if the distance between the zombie and us is larger than our attack range, we just want to continue the method, and we're just gonna end it there. So now when we run this, now when it tries to attack and then I run away, as you can see, it doesn't show zombie hits, but when I stay there, it kind of hits me. So when the animation starts and I run away, kind of doesn't do anything. Also, one more thing is that I want to fix a few things. As you can see, the zombies animation is that when he changes, let me just mute the audio for right now. When he when we kind of move away, he's gonna stop. He's gonna transition the animation midway. He's not gonna finish the animation, so I just want to change that. So yeah. So in order for me to do that, I think I need to go back to the animation class. Animation walk, set current animation. Where is it? Animation controller equals new controller, new animation, walk and attack. What else? I don't know. Let me just check. It's been a while since I worked on the animation, so I just need to, update. Okay, so it's gonna be in the zombie class. Update animation controller equals to name controller dot update behavior dot update. Animation controller dot get frame. Okay, so animation dot controller. Let me just go back to this class, and I want to do a few things. get frame update is running. Set animation and m0.name, public animation, get animation, string animation name, set animation, string animation name, buffer image, get frame update. You also want to say if public boolean. So what we want to say is to check if the current animation is running. So simply say is running. I simply want to return current animation dot is running. So when I go to the so I just need to add this function into the current animation. So I just need to go to animation, and inside here I just want to create a public boolean I actually don't need to make this a function. I can simply say public boolean is running, and I can simply go back to here and I just change this from a function to a property. And when I go back to the animation class and inside the update method, I want to say if index is greater or equal to animations.length, animation that is running is equals to false. So I simply want to say is running is equal to false. Actually, I can actually do this inside the animation complete. Actually, I do have a function for that. Okay, but wow, I actually made a lots of provisions, but I never use them. Okay, so I can simply go here and I can simply say is running is equals to false. And that means when I start a new animation on animation complete get frames reset, when I call the reset function, I want to say is running is equals to true. Is running is equals to true. And what else? And actually when I create the animation, I also want to set is running to true. Actually, what I can do is simply set it up here is equal to true by default. So now I can go back to the zombie, to the green zombie, and I simply say attack timer set repeats animation anim controller set animation to current. So if we're attacking, set animation to attack. So when we set animation to attack, I also want to check a few things. I want to say if is attack. No. So what else? Let me just look at the code for a while. So the whole idea is that if we're currently attacking, if the current animation is attacking, then we want to not move until we're done with the attacking animation. So yeah. So what I can do is inside the zombie class, I create a new Boolean variable, protected Boolean. Actually, let me just make it public. Boolean can move. Can move is equals to true. Wow, can't spell. Okay. Inside the update, what we want to do is what is it? We don't want to be moving. What is it called? We do not want to be doing any rotations or moving when we cannot move. So yeah. So what I want to do is after updating the zombie, anim controller the update, we're also gonna need to behavior update. Actually, we don't want to behavior update. Yeah. So if we cannot move, so if not can move, if we cannot move, I just simply want to return. And now inside the green zombie, you can simply set can move or cannot move. So yeah. So what I can simply say is if you can simply say can move is equals to anim controller dot current animation equals to attack. So what I'm trying to say is that if the animation control, so I'm gonna use a ternary, what is it called? I don't know, something like a ternary something, I don't know, lambda expression or something like that. I forgot what it's called, but I just know how to do it. So what we're simply gonna say is that if the animation control the current animation is equal to the attack animation, what I want to set the can move is equal to is, I want to say anim controller dot current animation dot is running to isn't running, else I just simply want to say anim controller dot, oh my goodness, let me just enter a new line, anim controller dot current animation dot is running. So what this means is that we're setting can move is equal, so what we're doing is we're saying if the animation controller, or if the current animation is attack, then we want to say anim controller that current animation is running. Else if it's not attack, okay, so if it's not attack, actually let me just change this. So this is what happens if it's not attack. If it's not attack, I just simply say we can move. Yeah, because if we're not attacking, then we can move. So yeah, so let's go ahead and test this out. Okay, now it's kind of stuck. Okay, we need to fix this. So yeah, so the first thing that I kind of fixed was that what is it called? Inside here, I simply just moved the if can move return from underneath the behavior, and I moved it to after the behavior, because we kind of need to update the behavior, yeah, before checking for the checking for the condition inside the green zombie. And also what I did inside the green zombie is instead of putting the test condition inside target has arrived, I decided to put the test condition inside the what is it called, inside the update method. So actually, and also want to move the update method to something lower after we initialize, really, so that I can actually see something. Okay, yeah, I just moved it from there to here, and yeah, so right now I still have the same result. And if kind of tries to move, and yeah, we still have the same result. So what I kind of want to do is to what else is to go into the target hasn't arrived. So here I want to set the animation to work only if we completed the attack animation. So here what I want to do is simply say anim controller dot current animation. So I just want to say if anim controller dot current animation is equals to work, and oh, it's not Python, my bad, and anim controller dot current animation. Actually, I think we can just simply just reference work directly. Work that is running, we just simply want to return. This means, so if the work animation, not work, actually it should be attack. What am I saying? Attack, and attack is running, then we should return. This means that if the current animation is attack, we're still attacking and the animation is running. We do not want to swap to work. So now when we run this, hopefully it should work this time around. Okay, as you can see, the moment it starts the animation, let me increase the attack range for the zombie a bit. So instead of 20F, let me just make it 30. I increased this range by 30%. And let's go. As you can see, he kind of waits until he's done attacking, and then he does his attacking. And right now, I think we finally got the damaging and the animation in sync. So let me just go back to the green zombie, and we hit. Okay, let's just test it out right now. So when this guy attacks me, it says we hit the player. And when I go back to the green zombie, and I can simply change the zombie's attack speed. Inside the init method, I can simply say, what can I say? Actually, let me go back to the zombie. Okay, it's okay. So it's inside the init. Time to next attack. Okay, I can simply set the time to next attack of this zombie to any time I want. I can make it 0.1f. That means he attacks every 10 times in a second. That would be super fast though. And that's crazy. But as you can see, it's in sync. I can change it to any time I want. I can make him attack after half a second. So that his hit speed is every half a second. And enter. And yeah, so now let's actually implement the killing of the player. So in order for me to do that, I kind of want to go where do I actually want to go? I want to go to the player class and see if we have the health and the max health. I think we do have. Okay, we have max health and health. Good. So I can simply go back to the green zombie and I can simply say on attack player. I can simply say locked target. Okay, instead of saying we hit locked target, I can simply say locked target dot. Do you have a set health? Okay, dot health dot hit. Okay, hit damage. And what is the damage of a zombie actually? I actually don't know what the damage. Okay, damage is 100. Okay. And this hit function, what does it do? Okay, minus equals. Okay, it reduces the health by the damage. Good. So yeah, when we go back to the green zombie, we can simply say locked target dot hit damage. And what we want to say is if locked target dot health dot get health is smaller or equals to 0, then what we want to simply say is locked target dot kill. Do you have a kill method? Okay, let me just go to the locked target. Actually, let me go to the entity. And let's see what's happening with the zombie. Zombie, do you have a kill method? Oh, I think we just removed it. So in fact, let me just simply go to the entity and create an abstract method kill. Public abstract void kill. Abstract. I cannot do spelling. Abstract. Wow. Oh, void. And we just need to implement this inside the player. And we also want to implement this inside the zombie. So I simply want to say, inside the zombie, I just want to create the kill method. Okay. Void kill. Okay, also, okay, it needs to be public. So yeah. So that means we need to change up the weapon class a bit. But actually, okay, let's not do that yet. Let me just go to the player class, and inside here, when we kill the player, I just want to switch scenes, kind of. So instead of, what is it called? Instead of remaining in the same scene, I just want to say scene manager. Scene manager dot set scene. Okay, start scene. And what's the name of the original scene? Let me go back to the scene manager, and we have the welcome scene. What's the name of the scene? Welcome screen. We're just gonna put it onto the welcome screen, and when I go back to the player, so after going back to the player, we can simply say scene manager.start scene welcome screen, and let me go back to the zombie and just make him OP. Let me change his hit speed to every, I don't know, 0. 0.05, so it attacks very fast. And yeah, so that's what kind of happens. And let's try moving and see what happens if it kills me from here, if we're gonna restart the scene. And okay, yeah, so this kind of works great. So yeah, so we kind of managed to what is it called, to restart the game whenever the zombie, kills me. Yeah, so that's it. So what else do we need to do? We kind of need to, okay, let me just put this back to what it was before. And yeah, and also want to change how we kill the zombie. So when I go back to the bullet, where is the bullet? Okay, I think it should be inside the weapons, something like that. Okay, projectiles. And so it should be inside the projectiles. So add component collider. Collision dot remove. Okay, instead of calling this, I just simply want to say z dot kill. And here I can simply pass in, what's this? Extends projectile. Wow. I can simply pass it. I can say, okay, I just simply call scene.kill and then z.kill, and I can just control X, remove that, and inside inside here, I can simply paste this scene.getGameObject.remove, and instead of saying Z, I'll simply say this. And now when we run this, okay, it still kind of works. Hooray! Now it kind of works. That's so great. So yeah, I think that's it for this video. And in the next video, we're just gonna be working on creating a zombie spawner. So guys, make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe. Peace.